That's just women trying to win in a genetically or innately divisive situation that we're in with different sexual strategies. Okay. Or we complement each other by fighting each other. That's how it is. It's like we're formidable opponents for each other. And it pushes us to do things that create babies and create sexual tension. Why aren't men and women just happily banging, spitting out kids, and just being together and everything is good, right? Like the fairy tale that you were told. Why is that not the case? Even when you have an understanding of intergender and intersexual dynamics, when you understand this stuff, why isn't it just like poof, poof, we're happy now, right? Things just work out super easy. And people who say it is, I don't believe them. I know it's usually not true. All right. They have to say that because they're on the internet. So they go through their ups and downs. It wasn't easy to get there. And a lot of times those are really dull situations that they've sort of resolved to be in. Okay. So why is there not this blissful, happy, banging situation for most people? All right. So let's answer that question. This happens because men and women evolved with different sexual strategies. This is what red pill people understand, whether they call it that or not. Could be an Evo psych guy who doesn't care to call himself that understands this, right? We are designed, men and women, okay, genetically or innately, are designed to complement each other, but in a divisive manner, in a manner that's in conflict. Okay, not in a blissful, happy manner. All right. Most people are not aware of this fact. So I'm going to break it down as to why this is and why understanding this is important. So for clarity, all right, men and women complement each other in a divisive manner because that's what's promoted genetic diversity and sexual competition. All right. Competition in any sense is divisive. All right. There's conflict in competition. Okay. So what you have is men who are looking to collect women and mate switch and mate as many times as they can with the hottest girls and discard them when they are no longer useful. Okay. That's our innate drive. We have some drive to want to take care of a baby maker if they're going to have that as well, which gets us in trouble. So we want to mate with multiple women, discard the ones that aren't useful. The ones that are useful are the ones that could carry our babies, and we keep those around. And then women are looking to collect their options, but there's the best genetic options instead of all the random options they could get, and the best resources. And they'll discard men when men are no longer useful to them either. So that's what we have. But because women control the birth, right, you end up with Briffault's law. All right. And you guys are familiar with Briffault's law. It's where the female, not the male, determines all of the conditions of the animal family. And as human beings, we're also animals too, right? So that's where the female can derive no benefit from association with the male. No such association takes place. So that's Briffault's law. All right. When men are no longer of use, they're discarded. So men counteract this through using dominance and using resources and to be a benefit to multiple women. All right. So men aren't just a benefit to their wives or whatever, as some illusionary dreadcon fantasy would tell you. Men want to be men become beneficial or could be beneficial to multiple women by being attractive and having resources and having dominance. Thus, men can counteract Briffault's law, at least a small percentage of them can, smaller percentage, by keeping women in a state of dread or anxiety and in competition for them, even if they're in a relationship. All right. So this is not a blissful and happy image, is it, so far? But genetically speaking, this is not a blissfully happy image. All right. It's where men and women are trying to execute their own strategy and will discard when it suits them to discard. All right. And that's men, that's women. Men are less likely to discard, believe it or not, because if she is the baby maker and could potentially hold that baby, there's a part of a man's neurochemical reaction that will cause him to want to take care of her. That does not exist the other way around. Women are desired to take care of children, not desired to take care of men. So for women, it's always a negotiation. Okay. So, and then men are always trying to stay on top of that negotiation or control aspects of the woman's life and resources so that she doesn't negotiate elsewhere. Okay. And this is what you have. It's a divisive situation, obviously. And that's against the grain of what most people think. All right. So women are not designed to try to be blissfully happy and together with their marital partner. No, they're designed to mate with the best genetic options, get the most resources. And men are designed to mate with all the hot women and get rid of them when they get annoying or of no use either. All right. And so they are designed to win. We are designed to win at the expense of the other person. All right. That's our design. And what this caused was competition. It caused sexual competition. It caused genetic diversity that's promoted those things. It allowed us to survive and develop as human race, as a human race. We've progressed as human beings in part because of this divisive relationship, because it causes mate switching, it causes genetic diversity, and it causes a push to the best of the best to mate. All right. Which means a whole bunch of people get left behind. And a whole bunch of people are in anxiety and in competition with each other and themselves and with their partners so that they don't get left behind. And not being able to have, your capabilities of mating, even if you're 100 years old and you never have kids anymore, right? There's still a drive, right, for it. It's natural. It's our drive, our sexual selection part of our evolutionary process is more powerful than survival, more powerful than natural selection. All right. So that's why we're in it. We're in it and it's divisive. And that's why bad things happen. And that's why toxic stuff happens. And then dudes end up in a red pill space. And then they're not talking about things very optimistically.
Let's face it, if you're a man, then you are probably dealing with problems and challenges with women. Now, I've got some good news and some bad news for you. Your success with women literally boils down to one thing. The bad news is, if you don't have it, nothing else will work. All of the money, good looks, and all of the best pickup and game skills out there will fail without you mastering this one thing. And that one thing is frame. The answers to ending your pain and suffering and to start living an amazing life with women is just one click away. Click the link and let's get started.
So the red pill guys, whether they call themselves that or not, again, they sort of understand all this, right? And so the red pill paradigm or manosphere, any of that stuff is setting things up for men to win more and more often by understanding female nature. Okay. So it's, and some people get this, some people don't. You know, Ryan Stone talks about how she's not on your team. You're both there benefiting yourselves, and being in the relationship benefits you and it benefits her. And that's why you're in it. And the minute it stops benefiting, you stop benefiting yourselves, one or the other. That's when you run into a problem and potentiality for that relationship to end. And I'd agree with that, to a degree most of the time. But again, there's more to it. So men are we're setting up for men to win versus lose, whereas the blue pill socially conditioned paradigm sets up for men to lose and women to win. All right. If you don't understand that, then I don't know where you've been, because it seems like feminists and even people who don't claim to be feminists, but the society is largely gynocentric. So, the idea is to say that men are the oppressors and women are the oppressed. And then through that, we socially condition away things like masculinity and stuff like that. So, won't go down that rabbit hole too hard, but that's just women trying to win in a genetically or innately divisive situation that we're in with different sexual strategies. Okay. Or we complement each other by fighting each other. That's how it is. It's like we're formidable opponents for each other. And it pushes us to do things that create babies and it creates sexual tension. Right. And so red pill kind of gets that, sets men up to be the winner rather than the loser. All right. So that's a critical step, though, actually. All right. But that's not setting men up for bliss and long term happiness and, this euphoric, wonderful relationship, is it? It's just setting men up to not lose and sometimes win. And so now you have a whole bunch of people following that in their different ways, right? And some will follow it by spinning plates and never being in relationships and those sort of things. And that's their way of not losing. Some will follow it by, getting into relationships, but having side chicks or doing different things. I mean, there's all different ways that guys will try to not lose or possibly even win. Not getting married, signing a contract where they lose half their stuff. That's generally good advice, right? But that might not be the best advice for a woman. For a woman, maybe, especially if she's not the top resource provider in that unit or that relationship, she's kind of not winning by not getting that contract signed, isn't she? Right? She's not on the winning side of it anymore. And that's why women don't like these conversations a lot of times when men are talking about it. But women have their own sets of conversations with their girlfriends or their advice books or their things that are setting them up to win at the expense of the man. And so we're all doing the same thing. We're no better than they are. It's just a matter of who wins. We aren't designed for these euphoric, blissful, happy experiences on a long-term basis, but that doesn't mean that we can't have it. All right. I'm going to repeat that. We're not designed for it on a genetic level, but that doesn't mean we can't have that blissful, euphoric, long-term relationship with a woman or multiple women, depending on what you're running. Okay. We're not designed to fly around in jets, are we? But we do it all the time, and we do it relatively safely and pretty efficiently now. We fly around in jets. We're not designed that way. So we can design things, or we can engineer our lives and our situations to have these peak experiences, blissful relationships, great experiences with women without the divisiveness, or at least minimize the divisiveness. We can have it. All right. How do we do that, though? Because by nature, we're not designed that way. So what, though? I'm supposed to just slam dudes' heads into walls and stuff when I get mad at them. That's my nature. I'm a male who is dominant, right? But that doesn't mean we do it, right? We resolve conflicts differently. So we can do things better than our innate chimpanzee, drivers, right? And even better than what we've done before as human beings and what society is doing.